What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here for a weekly sports card market update on time. I thought this video was going to be delayed. I ended up having a little bit of free time on Saturday because the weather in New York City is absolute garbage. It is pouring down, raining, and today was our day to spend in the city. So we had a little bit of time before some events that we're going to later this evening, so I figured I would record really quick and get this up. A little bit of a slightly different format. There will be less charts and graphs, and I'm going to use this mostly as a news catch-up because I have missed some things as I have been in a week long of retirement other than the PSA news. So we will not be talking about New York Comic Con stuff specifically here. I'll just give a very quick, had a great time. It's an absolutely fantastic show. If you are in the area or you can get here to check it out, I would highly recommend it. Even if I wouldn't put like a ton of effort into it if you're not into pop culture slash comics, anime, whatever, all that sort of nonsense. But if you have a mild interest in that stuff and you can get here relatively easily, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I know I had some sports card focused people, I guess, I know poked their heads in the door. Ryan from GemRate, I met up with him on the show floor for a little bit. Also, I know some other viewers are here, so if they want to pop off in the comments down below on their thoughts attending the show, coming at it from more of the sports card vein, I think that would be interesting. Like I said, we'll do some deeper dives into this topic later in the week once I'm back in the home studio. But I had a great time, spent a bunch of money on a bunch of dumb stuff. Just New York Comic Con, they nail the FOMO around exclusives, whether that's I didn't buy any like Funko Pops or anything like that, but from Funko Pops to t-shirts to pins to just all sorts of dumb stuff, cool stuff that you'll buy that you'll never use or wear, but you get caught up in it and you spend the 20 or 30 bucks on a t-shirt that you wear once or twice. But it says NYCC on it, and you can only get it here, and it's exclusive to this certain day, and everybody has an exclusive. I'm surprised, and once again, we'll get into this more in a separate topic, but I am surprised the National specifically does not do more convention exclusive stuff. I know eBay has dabbled in it. Like there's the Topps Chrome packs and things like that, but I feel like that could be done better. Here it's almost to the nth degree because every company, every booth has something that is a con exclusive, and it's probably a little bit overboard. There's probably a fine line to walk down the middle there, but I do think that the national and sports card shows in general could do a little bit better about that sort of stuff. So like I said, we'll dive into some more things around, comparing, what could card shows benefit from stealing things from kind of the way that NYCC runs things. I can't speak on San Diego Comic-Con. I've never been there, but once again, had an absolutely fantastic time at the show the last few days. Did not pick up any comic books or anything like that. This is not, well, I did, but nothing like super high end graded. I bought a couple con exclusive Spider-Gwen stuff and some other odds and ends. Maybe I'll do a pickups video of all the junk that I bought at Comic-Con later this week. So just kind of wanted to touch on that because that's where I'm at. I am actually, as you are listening to this on Sunday morning, I am traveling back home to be home in the early afternoon. So while you are all watching this, I am making the trek across Interstate 80 all the way across Pennsylvania. Let's go ahead and dive into some real news and updates. And we get a double whammy here. Channel sponsor COMC had a couple announcements this week. They are also the sponsor of the weekly sports card market update. These are two things that I would have included in the weekly sports card market update, whether they sponsored me or not. So we'll go ahead and go over them quickly here. They are now offering a pre-grade service, and both these announcements you could check out over on the COMC blog if you want the full details. Essentially, it's $5 per card. It takes a week, and they will have their in-house team do a pre-review on it. It's basically just them saying like, yeah, we think this could probably 9 or better. That's the cutoff line here is 9 or better. I believe this is only on ultra modern cards. I have not dug deep into this because I have been on the road. Personally, for me, I don't know how often I would use this. Maybe if I bought like a bigger raw card on there and I wanted to get it graded, in most cases, I would just send it to get it graded, and whatever it comes back, it comes back. Versus spending the $5 on it. That's just me. There is probably a niche case use for this in certain circumstances. The way that I utilize COMC, I just don't know that I would stumble into that very often. And depending on what you're grading, like for me personally, I buy a lot of PC cards on COMC with the profits that I make. And most of those are Marvel cards, and they're usually like Gwen stuff or whatever. And a lot of times I want those slabbed in CGC slabs, and I honestly don't care what the card grades. I know the last card that I sent in, I haven't got the grade back yet for it. It's probably going to grade like an 8 or an 8.5. When I sent the Haley Steinfeld auto in, I knew it was probably going to grade like an 8 or an 8.5, a 9 if I was super, super lucky, just based off the scans. But I was going to grade it no matter what, so I didn't care if it got an 8 or an 8.5. So in that case, spending the $5 for the pre-grade versus just spending like the $12 or $14 or whatever it is to grade the card, I would rather just save the $5 and just grade the card because I don't care what it comes back as. Now, that's PC stuff. If you're trying to do this for profit, pluck out 10s or whatever, maybe it is worth it at that point to, if you pick up a couple cards and maybe they go astronomical in value and all of a sudden it's worth to grade them, or you're cherry picking over raw stuff and you want them to take a look at it beforehand to save you on a grading fee. I could see that. You buy something, maybe you have it in your account, all of a sudden the card gets super hot and has gone up crazily, and you want to pay, maybe it's a more expensive card and you want to get it graded at PSA and you're going to pay a little bit of a premium to get it graded to get it back faster. Maybe on a card like that, you'd pay the $5 for the pre-grade. That's one use case I could see for it. But like I said, for me, I don't know how much I would personally use this. I don't know how wide of an appeal this will have. Curious as always for your thoughts and comments down below on this one, but I don't think this one's for me. So glad that they're offering it. Glad that it's there if I need it, but I don't personally see how much I'll be using this one. The other thing that they are doing, live auctions. So essentially, COMC is going to be doing eBay live auctions. I don't know if you've all checked out eBay Live at all. It's basically their competitor version of Whatnot, where you could go on and do live streams, watch a live stream and bid on stuff like you could on Whatnot. This, you could submit items from your COMC inventory to be auctioned off during one of these live streams. All the details, once again, on the COMC blog. I forget when this actually starts. End of October. End of October this starts, and then you'll be able to submit them through your inventory manager. This, I could see me trying out with a couple cards and see how it does. I'm waiting to get back some of those Ellie De La Cruz Tops Now cards and some other stuff from a PSA order. When I get those back, I could see me listing a couple, buy it now, just to sit and see what happens when they roll in. But I could see me testing this platform out to see how the returns are with a couple of those cards, just to kind of see what happens. They run at like the 30 to 60 second auction. Like I said, very similar to Whatnot. So this is something that COMC is going to be rolling out. I'm not sure how often they're going to be doing it. But like I said, I can see myself testing the waters with this. Could be interesting with some Marvel cards. It would be nice, and I don't know if this is mentioned in here, if at some point, if they like themed the auctions, like, hey, we are going to do this week is all football cards. This week is all baseball cards. This week is all Marvel cards. Just to kind of narrow it down, so if you're going to sit down and actually put the time in to watch the live stream, you kind of know what you're getting in for ahead of time versus like checking in and out and seeing a bunch of random sports cards, and there's a Marvel card mixed in, and then there's some more sports cards, and then there's something else, a TCG card mixed in. I think it would be interesting if this does well for them to maybe theme the individual auctions, even if it's as broad based as, hey, this is going to be a sports card auction. This is going to be a non-sports card auction. This is going to be a TCG auction. even if you did it that broad base, just so you're kind of hitting on the buyers that you would want for those particular items. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how inventory moves on it, what kind of prices you get. But I will definitely, at minimum, test this out with a few items and kind of see what happens. More news things that I missed this week, taking most of the week off. Tops/Fanatics was in the news. They are continue to mess stuff up. I did the video the other day. I pre-recorded a video about a week ago on, the good and the bad of Fanatics. And, they're going to do some stuff that we like, and they're going to do some stuff that we don't like. This week, they did some stuff that we don't like. There was two major things. I shouldn't even say major things. There was two things. One of them is a bigger deal than the other one, in my opinion. The first one, and to me, this is the less big deal because and once again, maybe this was just one of those things that because I'm so in the weeds on this stuff, I was aware of this, but the mass public seemed to have either A, forgotten about it or wasn't quite understanding exactly what was going on. So they announced this First Stitch thing. They announced this a while ago. I remember talking about it in a video. And they laid out kind of what it was going to be. I don't remember if you had to read between the lines or not, but I remember thinking like, okay, this is not game used. This is, I think the announcement like literally said like the first jersey off the production line from the Fanatics HQ or whatever. So now all of a sudden it came out. Like we get the preview image for it. You could see it there, a nice little 3-4 color patch there, 2-3 color patch, and then there's authentic first mass produced MLB jersey. And people are losing their minds on this one to a degree. I mean, part of me gets it a little bit, like we want game used stuff, not player worn, event worn, straight off the shelf worn in this case. Stuff, it sets a bad precedent. Like we want game used stuff, not this nonsense stuff that they're creating. But once again, they announced this like a month or two ago and no one really said anything about it. And now all of a sudden it's like the biggest deal in the world. Am I annoyed by it? Yes. Do I like the precedent that they're trying to set here by normalizing non-player worn, non-event worn, non-game worn, just like an off-the-shelf jersey? Like they're trying to turn that into they're trying to spin it, I guess I should say, into a positive. Like, look at this cool thing. Like it's straight off the shelf. Never touched anybody. It's the first ever jersey made for that player. I mean, in concept, I guess that's cool. It's better than a generic off-the-shelf jersey, but it's still just an off-the-shelf jersey. It's just the first one off the shelf. If that matters to you, cool. If you want a PC a player in it, cool. I just don't like I don't like them trying to normalize the non-game used. Topps, the one thing that they've always usually done pretty well is game used material in product. And this feels like a sidestep to step backwards, trying to normalize this stuff. So I was not like as fired up about this one as a lot of the internet seems to be. Once again, I think it was because I kind of understood what they were doing when they originally announced this a month or so ago. So I'm not like all caught off guard by this one, but I'm not like a huge fan of what they're trying to do here, like I said. The second one, and the bigger deal in my opinion, is what has kind of been swirling around with Topps Update. And I have missed a lot of this. This kind of broke while I was really off the grid and not paying attention to stuff. Watch the Breaks has done a lot of tweets about this on Twitter. I know Dan the Cardman has done a video on this, and this has made the social circles. So essentially what happened is 2023 Topps Baseball Update came out. The hobby boxes came out, and the configuration listed on the website was 24 packs with 14 cards in each pack. Well, after the fact, after it went on sale, we come to find out that it was 20 packs with 12 cards in each pack. Now, they're saying that this essentially changes nothing. It's basically just less base cards. You can read this. This is the response statement that they put out. That the insert rate hit and the number of autographs and all that junk is still all exactly the same. This is just about less base cards, which on one hand I get. Like, okay, want less base cards in the product. A large majority of people are meh on base cards. I am sure there will be some set collectors that are not happy about this. This year in particular on update does not seem like a very strong year for the product to begin with. The problem is that this is the real rub. And if you're picking up a lot of noise in the background, sorry, those are the wild and wonderful streets of New York City. The real problem here is the way that they continue to struggle with effectively communicating what the hell is going on to the hobby at large. Once again, this got listed one way, and then they changed their tune quickly thereafter. Probably someone just copy-pasted the announcement from last year, changed the year, and said, here we go, we're good to go. And then someone on the production team was like, wait a second, the production's different this year. And here's the reasons why. This all comes down to if you come out before the product goes for sale and say, hey, this is what we're doing with Topps Update this year. This is why we're doing it. FYI, this is going to be the new thing. And like I said, here's why we're doing it. Here's the benefits. Here's the pros. Here's the cons. Here's why we think it's good. Here's why we think you're going to love it. And then the internet would pick it apart and say, this is why we're really going to love it, or this is why it's dumb, or this is why it benefits you, whatever the case might be. But instead, they are caught with their pants down again, and it looks like that the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing, and then it causes all the nonsense to come in. It's, the conspiracy theorist, the tinfoil hat brigade will mount up and say, oh, are they trying to hide something? What's the real reason behind this? Did they screw up again and this is them backpedaling at the last minute? Why wasn't this announced ahead of time? It just opens them up for a bunch of nonsense, and quite frankly, justifiably so. The tinfoil hat brigade should mount up on this one. There should be questions asked what the hell is going on. This all gets back to, I don't know if they need to pump the brakes and slow down a little bit, but they have got to figure out their quality control / Q&A, whatever the case might be. They have got to button this stuff up. I think of the scene from The Wedding Crashers where they're having, I think it's a breakfast, or maybe it's not a breakfast, I don't remember, where they're just both looking at each other and go, lock it up. You need to lock it up. Like, Topps, Fanatics, you guys need to lock it up. You guys are continuing to trip over yourselves over and over and over and over and over again. You guys crush the marketing side, but you continue to do so many dumb things on the production side. And once again, your communication is poor. You're bad about getting communication out ahead of time on this stuff. And you're constantly reacting to this stuff. Once again, they got the statement out quick and had a response quick, and we're offering full refunds. The way they handled it is all great. So cool. You could, give them a little pat on the back for that one. But in all honesty, just get it right the first time. That's the real problem here. That is the issue. So sure, good job. You handled it correctly on the back end, but can we get you guys handling things more correctly on the front end? Get this stuff locked down. Right hand, figure out what the left hand's doing, and then have clear, concise communication, if you are going to change something like this, on the reasons why you are doing it. That would solve a ton of this nonsense and also maybe build a little bit of brand loyalty instead of everyone looking at you side-eyed every step that you take. You are the big bad villain in the room now, and everyone wants to take a shot at you, and it feels like they either don't realize that or they don't care. Maybe it's a little bit of both, because they don't really need to care, I guess. Hashtag, all the Monopoly people yelling in the comments. So those are the two big Topps Fanatics things this week. Make of those two what you will. Like I said, I think this one is a way bigger deal than the First Stitch thing. The First Stitch thing is annoying, But this is more when you're completely changing product configuration around. You need to let people know that because they expect products to run a certain way ahead of time. And also don't put things for sale with the wrong product configuration on it. Like I said, cool, good job. They're offering refunds. That's what they absolutely should do. People will throw a fit if they didn't. So they get rewarded for responding to that quickly, but that's minor. Just get it right the first time. You guys need to get some things right the first time instead of constantly reacting to these things. So next up, the other thing that I missed, this actually happened last week. Mr. Jeff Wilson, aka Market Movers himself, yes, I am a Market Movers affiliate, is opening a new card shop in Atlanta. This seemed to be a lot of hubbubaloo earlier in the week, with everyone making their reaction videos and sounding off, and will this work, will it won't work, this, that, the other thing. I have no idea if it'll work or not. I've never owned a card shop, I've never operated a card shop. The one thing I do know is if it will work, he has every chance in the world to make it work because of the marketing, industry connections, and the who you know, and all the other nonsense involved. He has all that stuff in his favor, in his team's favor. So, if they can execute, if the world doesn't collapse entirely and we're burning cards to stay warm, or shooting them down a rifle of a barrel at a zombie or something, maybe this thing has a chance to get its legs underneath it and sustain for a little while. Like I said, he will have the advantage of he has a massive platform. He could do a bunch of marketing way more than any other normal shop opening the door. And once again, you can see right there on the announcement, there's Michael Rubik commenting, "Let's go. So excited to support you. This looks incredible." He will get the corporate buy-in because he, A, knows those people, and two, those people want to work with someone that has reach. Just like everything else in life, who you know is one of the most important things out there. If you are well connected, you have an edge over other people. Jeff opening this card shop versus random guy opening a card shop in middle America is completely different. Even in a big city, someone opening a card show or a card shop in a large city is not going, that is not like known on social, is not going to have the same reach as, sports card investor opening up a shop. There, he just has a bunch of extra advantages. You may like that, you may not like that, but there's no doubt about it, they are there. Guess what? He's probably not going to have to send 47 emails and hope and pray to get allocation from Tops/Fanatics. I would be willing to bet he has probably a much easier path than most people opening up a shop. And like I said, fair, not fair, that's the way life works. That's the way business works. You could like it, you could not like it, but that's the way the world moves around. I don't know what to tell you. You don't get handed everything, and some people get to have unfair advantages, or maybe it's not even an unfair advantage. He worked, he built a platform, he has a massive following. Love him, hate him, whatever. He has the massive following, and he can leverage that for things on the back end. So from that perspective, if nothing else, the shop will have every marketing advantage that you could possibly think of. It will be featured on content everywhere. It'll be all over the place. It's right next to the Braves Stadium. I understand the location is pretty good on it. I'm not super familiar with that neck of the woods. I've only been over that general area once. So we'll see how it goes. I am sure the internet will critique every little individual inch and move that they make. So I wish him well. I hope it does well. I look forward to stopping in and seeing it next time I am in that part of the country once it opens up. So good luck to anyone out there opening a card shop, Jeff or whoever. I hope it is successful because that means that the hobby's doing good and that we're all doing good. So speaking of market movers, we're just going to look at a couple charts and graphs and then wrap this puppy up. I know some of you all like one or two charts and graphs with your Sunday coffee. Revisiting one that we've been talking about, it feels like every single week. Brock Purdy continues to just go to the moon. Every week we look at his cards. Every week he jumps up. Today they play the Deshaun Watson-less Cleveland Browns, they should probably win again unless they are just completely overlooking the Browns and it's a trap game for them. But I just do not see one Mr. PJ Walker beating the 49ers defense. As good as the Browns defense can potentially be, my guess is that the 49ers will win. It'll be interesting to see how Brock plays against what on paper is a good defense. The problem could be that the offense is not good enough to keep the defense off the field, and we just wear down. We'll find out later today. But regardless, Brock's cards continue to just absolutely soar. He is by far and away, along with Tua, but even more so now, Brock is the biggest winner so far of this NFL season. Another one, a little bit something under the radar if you've been following the channel for a while. You are well aware of this card. I do own one of these. It is currently sitting at PSA. The grade should be popping any day on this, and I am praying for an upcharge email. Oh, I'm praying it sneaks through and gets a 10, but if I get an upcharge email on this, I will not be sad about it at all because I sent this in at $500 declared value. That is the CJ Stroud instant auto. Stroud is having an absolutely fantastic season. He is the best rookie quarterback by a wide margin, and he's just a really good quarterback, period, even if you take the rookie label off. He has played extremely well, looked good doing it, and the Texans are a little feisty this year. This is his Panini instant auto. We have talked about this card a bunch. The play here was that this would be his only auto in a Texans uniform, and for the foreseeable future, it appears that it will be, and it feels like people are, I shouldn't say people, like the masses. I think a lot of people in the card world understood the significance of this card, but I feel like now that Stroud is playing well, people are starting to figure out, oh wait, this is his only rookie auto in a Texans uniform. The prices on this have continued to climb up and up. Here I have the PSA 10s up. You can see they were pretty stable for most of September and August, going for the mid 1K-ish level. Now a new one has come up about a month since the last one sold, and obviously he continues to play extremely well. This one is at bids. It ends Sunday night. There's a little over a day on it. By the time you all are watching this, there'll be less than a day on it. PSA 10, non-10 auto is already well over, or just at 2K rather. I believe a 1010 did sell for a pretty strong number, but I couldn't find that sale. Just looking for it really quickly here. But the PSA 10 Stroud instant auto, and this will help drive his play, will probably help drive Wax the Man for this class. Bryce Young has hit the struggle bus a little bit. Right now it is all about CJ Stroud. That can always change, obviously, but for right now he's going to be the one carrying the product. Once again, the tricky thing here is he is not going to have autos in product, so you are going to be chasing parallels of him. We'll see what they end up doing with Flawless and NT. My gut is they will try, if they were smart, now it's Panini, so who the hell knows? If they're smart, they would try to get game-used relics for those players. I know I've dealt with this before. Darius Garland is an Upper Deck exclusive auto, so he does not have autos in any Panini product ever. So his Flawless, I believe it's Flawless, and NT stuff, they put game-used patches in that, and they put really nice patches in it, and they sell for pretty strong values. Like a Darius Garland Flawless NT game-used, I almost said RPA, but there's no auto. Rookie patch game-used and Flawless or NT sells for a couple grand. Last I looked, they don't come up very often because I think they're like numbered to 10. They just don't show up a ton, and there's not a ton of them out there because they are game used. I would do something like that. I would come out with some absolutely sick patches, and I would make sure those suckers are game used. Because otherwise, I don't know how you're going to move high-end football product this year with the way that they're not going to have access to most of the top-end autos. So we will see what happens. No fantasy football update this week. I will spare you all that. I keep trying to get a fantasy basketball league going. I just keep forgetting to post it. Just getting wrapped up with travel and everything else going on. I will try to get one up early this week for an underdog league for a best ball draft. It might be too late to do a slow draft with the season starting in 2 weeks. Basketball season continues to be around the corner. Victor Wembanyama looks absolutely amazing so far in preseason. I watched some highlights of his game on, I think it was Friday night. I think it was Friday night. And the stuff he was doing was absolutely ridiculous. So we'll get into more basketball talk this week or next week on the weekly sports card market update, and maybe just some general videos on the market itself if things start to pick up with preseason games being played now. But Victor, so far, looks like the real deal. Yes, it's only been 1 or 2 preseason games, but the hype machine on him will continue to build. That is all I have for you, boys and girls. Everyone have an enjoyable Sunday. I'm going to continue my trek across the great state of Pennsylvania to get home, and we will catch you, boys and girls, on the next one. Peace.